In today's video, we are going to be talking about ways in which you can become a more productive analyst or junior employee when you join your graduate scheme. So let's get straight into it. What is going on YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. For those of you that are new here, my name is Afzal Hussain. You can find out a bit more about me through the social media links below, or you can check out my website, which is www.afzalhussain.com. Before I start, I want to say a really big thank you to Blinkist for sponsoring this video. For those of you that don't know, Blinkist is a really cool app which lets you read the key lessons from over 3,000 non-fiction books in less than 15 minutes. And I'll go into more detail on Blinkist later on in the video and an offer for 100 lucky viewers. So stay tuned for that. Okay, so today's topic is focused on how to outperform or be productive as a first or second year analyst when joining an investment bank or a consulting firm, whatever graduate scheme it might be. And the reason it's important to be aware of these small things that you can do that will drastically improve your performance and your personal brand in the workplace is because at the end of each year you are likely going to be ranked out of all of the other analysts in your company or on that floor or in your division. If you're a top quartile performer, you will likely be getting a bigger bonus than a mid-tier performer or a lower ranking analyst. And so it's very important because it impacts your pay, it impacts your trajectory of growth within the company, and it also impacts your potential opportunities to move internally or even externally when you need the backing of maybe your manager or some senior employees in your organization. And so these are a few tips that I put together to help you focus on being productive and getting the most out of your work and time as a junior employee. The first rule, and this is a very basic rule, is the 2-minute rule. And this is simply stating that if you can do something that takes less than 2 minutes on your desk, so if an email comes in and the response will take less than 2 minutes, do it. Don't think twice. Any task that comes in that will take you less than 2 minutes, you should do it and not put it on your to-do list. So get it out the way ASAP. The reason for that is because 2 minutes is not a long time, and if you put that task onto your to-do list, it just makes it longer. And naturally, when our to-do list extends, it's draining to look at. It will negatively impact your mindset, and it makes you naturally think that you've got a lot more work that needs doing than you really do. Whether it's a quick email, whether it's a quick phone call, whether you need to get up and go and see someone, do it and get it out the way. So that's tip number 1. Tip number 2, as an analyst at an investment bank or any leading organization in the city, you are going to be working long hours and you are going to be working on lots of different tasks, lots of different projects, working with lots of different teams and individuals. Oftentimes that can become quite overwhelming. So one tip I have for you is don't just stay indoors all day. You need to get sunlight. When I was interning at Goldman in 2013, 10 weeks I was indoors, and then at the end I went to the doctors and they said I've got low vitamin D levels because I wasn't getting enough sunlight, so I was indoors too much. So highly encourage you to go for a walk or go for a coffee, go grab a frozen yogurt, whatever it might be. Just get off the desk and make sure you get out and about, go for a walk, because that will actually brighten up your day. It will actually make you, sometimes you need to step away from work in order to refresh, have a clear mind and come back and approach work, and you'll actually be more productive and you won't burn out. So burnout is a big thing. The last thing you want to do is work at 100 miles per hour constantly for 10, 11, 12, 13 hours a day. Do that for 5 days a week for a whole year. You'll be burnt out before you know it. So avoid that by taking short walks and having a connection with the outside world by taking breaks throughout the day. Next up, it's a simple one, but not enough people do it, is to-do lists. So as a junior professional, you're going to have your own to-do list of things you need to do. Then your manager is going to have things for you to do. Then your VP is going to have things for you to do. Your associate is going to have things for you to do. Other teams are going to have things for you to do. So your to-do list is going to be extensive. Every single time you get asked to do something, write it down. Don't think, okay, I don't need to write it down, I'll remember it, because the rate at which you're going to have things hitting your to-do list, you will forget anything you try to memorize or just remember and not note down. So always write things down, even if it's the smallest thing. And this brings me on to the next rule, or a piece of advice, is always ask for deadlines. You don't want to be that junior employee who your manager asks you to complete a piece of work and you say, sure, I'll get it to you. And then an hour later, your manager asks for that piece of work and you tell them you haven't started it yet, you were going to do it tomorrow, or you were going to do it in 2 days' time. That's just poor prioritization, that's poor time management, and that's poor relationship management. Because if you simply ask them, when do you need it by, and they said within an hour, you would organize your priorities and fix up your to-do list to put that at the top, because it's for your manager, it's urgent, and they need it within the hour, right? So you're going to focus on it. If you don't ask for a deadline, you are at risk of putting it at the bottom of your to-do list, and then it means it won't get done by the time that they likely need it. So always ask your manager or anyone who's giving you a piece of work, ask them for clarity on when they need it and how urgent is it, because that will help you be more productive, it will save you time, and it will allow you to prioritize your to-do list accordingly, which is a good sign of a strong and able and efficient junior employee. So always ask for a deadline. If you're a spring week intern or an internship intern or a junior analyst on a grad scheme, it's completely okay for you to ask any question you want, because they don't expect you to know much, they want you to learn. However, do not ever ask the same question twice, because that shows that you haven't listened the first time, and it shows you don't pick things up quickly. In banking and finance, you need individuals who can learn quickly, who pay attention, and who hit the ground running first time. So you can ask any question you want once, but don't ask it twice, because it won't look good. If you still don't know the answer after you ask first time, either ask someone else, or maybe check with a fellow analyst or someone who's in a similar level to you, because they might know the answer. But don't go to the same person twice, because it will show them that you didn't listen to them the first time. And second to last point, stay up to date. So you all should know this. In any industry, you want to maintain your commercial awareness to a high level. Now what that means is staying up to date with geopolitics, politics, financial markets, anything in the world that might commercially impact your business or your clients or your organization should be common knowledge to you. And a simple way to do this is to have subscriptions with the FT, so the Financial Times or the Economist. But if you don't want to have monthly subscriptions, because they can get quite expensive, you can easily stay up to date with Yahoo Finance or Google Finance or BBC, CNBC, Bloomberg, any news channel. They are all full of relevant and useful information for you. And if there's a specific topic you want to read about, for example Brexit, you can easily Google search it, click on the news tab, and a plethora of information will come up, so you can just read all of that. Now last but not least, and I get this question a lot, it's around books. What books do I read? Now, as you can see, there's a lot of books behind me, and a lot of you in the comments to a lot of my videos have asked me what type of books do I read. So this is where the sponsor of today's video, Blinkist, comes in. So I discovered Blinkist around a year ago when I was trying to read a book a week, and I realized over time that reading a book a week is quite tricky. And so what it basically does is it condenses non-fiction books into 15-minute bite-sized readables or audiobooks, which you can listen to through the app. So books like Black Box Thinking by Matthew Syed, the autobiography of Malcolm X, and The Power of Habit, all three of these books, I've actually read them, but sometimes you want to go back and revisit books or reread the key concepts from these books, and that's where Blinkist becomes very handy for me, because I often like to revisit books that I've read. A lot of the titles behind me are on the Blinkist app. So the Blinkist app has over 8 million users, and it's got over 3,000 non-fiction books condensed into 15-minute readables. And if we go into the app, here's what it looks like. So if you go into the app, you will see, this is the homepage, they have a daily pick that's recommended for you, and then they've got various other recommendations that are relevant to some of your interests. So for me, it's always like productivity, success, outperformance, and those type of things. If we go into the explore section, and then we go into categories, you'll see there's lots of different categories available, from career and success to management and leadership, productivity, psychology, communication. There's a lot that you can select, politics, and read from. Personally, I find it really useful when I'm in the gym. In 30 minutes of cardio, I can listen to the content of 2 very good books that I can hand pick and get the main points from them. Overall, I personally think it's a really good business idea, and it's a really good app that I actually use quite a lot. And for those of you that are interested, the first 100 of you to click the link in the video description below will get 1 week's full access for free, so you don't need to pay anything. You can cancel your membership at any time within those 7 days, and if you do like it, you get 25% off a full membership. So do check it out, and if that is something you're interested in, do not hesitate to click the link in the video description below, and it will only be available to the first 100 of you. Reading is a way to kind of become a more interesting individual, and that goes without saying. In any room, the most interesting person tends to be the person who is most well read. And so that's my final tip. Try and read more, try and read around different topics, and that will allow you to have conversations with individuals who are in your sphere of interest, but those who are also not in your sphere of interest, which can only lead to growth and development. If you've got any other pieces of advice for junior professionals who are starting in the industry, leave them in the comments below. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. That's my request from you. It would mean a lot if you give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't. If you are subscribed, do turn on post notifications so you never miss an upload. And leave any video comments or suggestions below, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.